Dr. Hoffer and Osmond originally hypothesized that there was a substance that was capable, that was found in schizophrenics, that could distort their reality and affect their brain. And they then isolated something called adrenochrome. They found that the adrenochrome could actually produce schizophrenic symptoms, could cause hallucinations, delusions, and so on. And adrenochrome is an oxidized product of adrenaline. And adrenaline often occurs when you're under stress. And people who have the genetics for it can then develop these oxidized stress hormones that are then capable of actually poisoning the person.
If you had the right genes, if you had the right genetic structure, and now there's evidence for that, which would allow the conversion of too much adrenaline to adrenochrome, which was a hallucinogen in the brain, that if this happened, that this would act on the brain as if they had taken LSD, and they would then become psychotic.
With adrenochrome, your legs seem a very long way down. Your clothes may become uncomfortable, and particularly if you're convinced that something is wrong, almost intolerable. Small distortions can be even more frightening than large ones, because you can't be sure that they are distortions. And as tension mounts, so does one's uncertainty.
Ours is a simple, comprehensive hypothesis that wasn't based upon chance. We actually derived our hypotheses from very careful observation that had been made by Humphrey Osmond and John Smithies and myself. That was our hypothesis. Ours is the only rational hypothesis there is. The average psychiatrist will not answer your question. Ask him what causes schizophrenia. I don't know. They think it's biochemical. They use the word biochemical, but they don't understand what that means. Because when you load someone up with a toxic drug, you're not giving him a biochemical treatment. You're merely poisoning him. And it's easy enough to poison people. That's no problem. So there are no theories that are acceptable except ours.
To offset the effects of adrenochrome, we turn to the cheapest, safest, and most easily available substance, niacin, vitamin B.
We now, by that time, knew that niacin might protect the cell against the effect of adrenochrome. So I decided that we would try niacin.
It's 37 years since I was ill. I have recovered completely. I always think of my recovery as taking place in about 3 weeks, or 19 days to be exact. The theory that Dr. Hoffer has, that the adrenals produce this toxic adrenoleutin, and that's like LSD in the body, that fits my story. And I think my own part in it was overdosing on sugar. I loved my sweets. I wasn't aware, I didn't really know that sugar can affect my mind. And he said, we'll put you on the niacin and watch what happens. And I didn't have any expectations, but something happened. I make recommendations for vitamins or supplements, always in terms of cleansing and building. And I make recommendations for diet.
It became mandatory for all my patients that they would all go on to niacin. I use drugs too. The vitamin didn't work fast enough and the drugs did, so the best solution was to combine them. So I'd start my patients on the drugs, which would help settle them down very quickly, help take away their anxiety, their hostility, their depression. Start them on vitamins. And we use the drugs as you would use a crutch for a person with a broken leg. As soon as the leg is mended, you throw away the crutch. As soon as our patients are mended, we throw away the drugs. And I think that's how they ought to be used. So that's why we get the recoveries that we see by the combination. This is what's called orthomolecular.